to the Nerdiverse. Go ahead, sit and listen to the masters, the old heads, talk about what you love the most. Video games, comics, movies, and everything you need to maintain. We got the knowledge that's straight out the ether. Gonna need a drink and have to take a seat to expand your mind and listen to the speaker. Mike and the squad's gonna give you what you need. Please send in the question, come and get some answers, learn a couple lessons from the masters with the special guests. We got the Green Lanterns glowing on their chest. Yes, please sit back and relax, cause we're gonna hit you with them stone cold facts. And allow me to be the very first to welcome you to the masters of the Nerdiverse. Welcome to Masters of the Nerdiverse podcast, where we always have such sights to show you. This quiet library of a podcast could be found on iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, SoundCloud, YouTube, and iHeartRadio. I'm, of course, your host, Mike G. And with me, as always, is my co-host, my friend, and confidant, Winter Trash Monk III.
Good evening. I'm friend of Mike G, Trash Monk III. That's Trash Monk III for all you Hispanic folks, or Trash Monk III! And I'm coming at you from the little cubby space that is a small Barnes & Noble in my house. I work at a Barnes & Noble, as you can tell from my voice.
He built a Barnes & Noble in his house. It's kind of crazy.
Would you like a coffee while reading about the rise and fall of the Third Reich?
There's a sale, 30% off.
Yeah.
All books that start with
We've
Mein
accepted
Kampf.
that we're the bathroom destination of all the homeless people in the area.
It doesn't smell if you hold your nose.
All right, I'm done. Next.
How was your week?
My week was good. I have a grind your gears moment.
Go for it.
That I read about today. I mean, what else am I going to talk about for this weekend? I mean, I played a lot of Rocket League. I'm in a particular jam of going up and down in a particular area of 3 ranks. Played some Borderlands 2. We did some Dungeons and Dragons, but this is the part that is grinding my gears.
Mm-hmm.
So I read it just before we started recording. It's an article. So the Us just came out, right? Jordan Peele's movie.
Yep.
And then this morning, I watched a whole thing about Lupita, how she got how she portrayed the character Red. Like, how did she get that voice that she does? And then she mentions that she was looking at a particular physical disorder or a mental I can't remember what it was, but it was a certain disorder that she was taking inspiration from. And in my mind, I'm like, that's cool. And you know what? That is the normal response that people should have. Like, she's taking inspiration from real life things. But I look up online that Us magazine or some atrocious magazine has now started going, Lupita is getting what is it? Getting some what's the word?
Backlash?
A backflash. So she's getting some negative feedback from portraying a mental portraying a disorder that she doesn't have, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, This is what is happening, folks.
Winter, man. What can I tell you, man? We live in a different world, man. What can I tell you?
No. So there's so many. There are so many things going on in this. First, the person who was the article is dumb by itself.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's the feedback on Twitter going, you idiots actually believe this stuff? And I'm like, wait a minute. You're just tweeting you idiots. So who are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
The only idiot is you for retweeting something that's dumb. Okay? If I can understand if you're retweeting it and going, look at this dumb article, and then interacting with it, but then taking it at face value and going, wow, this is this is dumb, and you guys actually believe it. You're also dumb in this category.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right.
And we just need to take a step back, folks. This is where we fall back. And we need to realize, not everyone should have a voice. Okay. I say that knowing that I could
back it up.
Yes, let me back that up. What I'm saying is just relax.
Never.
Okay?
You know the internet has no chill, dude. You know the internet has no chill.
But it does. It's just the internet is just made up of people, and therefore the people themselves have to control themselves. I do not get into Facebook debates. I do not get in Twitter debates unless they're stupid. # I love the cocoa. Mm-hmm. And it's like the internet is not real life, folks.
The internet has no chill, bro. Like what you're talking about is the vocal minority, right? Now, what the internet has given us, and not even just the internet, what social media has given us is a big, giant bullhorn to the social minority, or you know what I mean, or to the vocal minority, and that's good or bad, right? Because the good part of it is that there are communities and societies that wouldn't have that kind of that wouldn't kind of have that type of stage to say what they want to say in a positive match, but on the other side, you have idiots reaching out to stars, giving them murder messages about how they portrayed a character in Justice League. It goes, the door swings both ways. There's nothing we can do about it, man, unless you just want to destroy the internet.
There is something that you just have to be the bearer of. I am taking responsibility of my own actions. Therefore,
you're asking.
I will not. Yeah. I will not participate in this. You can say that, and I know it's going to be tough. Just because it is it's like there is scientific evidence that there's something that triggers in your brain a dopamine reaction to this type of stuff, right? And it is going to suck. It's like breaking sugar sort of thing. But after a while, you are going to look past this and go, I really spent hours upon hours talking about this on Twitter. I really spent a podcast talking about nerd culture. That's what you're going to be thinking about. Man.
You're asking way too much of the human condition, man. You're asking way, because what you're doing is you're speaking to the person, but not the people. The person may say, "Oh, that Frankenstein may be a nice man," when you start to get to talk to him, but the people with their pitchforks and their fire sticks are screaming, "Kill him!" Kill him! And they're a blind mob. The internet's vitriol is blind and unforgiving, but it has a short memory. You know what I mean? So it'll move on to the next thing. They don't care. They just want to be mad about something in that 24-hour news cycle. So just let them be mad. Right. They'll move on to something else that's dumb. Why are you clinging to this with such fervor?
Now here, because here's the other thing that we have to keep in mind as well. There are people who literally define themselves by what they do on Twitter and on the internet. And it's like they have no connection outside of that. This is what they are. And there's people who will live or die by this. And if they're that far gone, then there has to be room for them, because if you cut them off cold turkey, it is going to be a madhouse.
Yeah, you can't do it.
I already have enough people who see people just walking around. I don't have to go. Well, I don't. Man.
Here's the thing, man. It's everyone knows the brick wall. It's a person in your life that you can't tell anything. May it be over pious religion. May it be their mastery of sports. There's walking sports almanac, may it be their video game prowess, may it be whatever, but they're a brick wall. You can't talk to them because they're already so right that there's no way they could be wrong. And the internet is giving voice to all these people who don't want to hear it. And they're,
like Bill Hicks does mention, I think there's an important point. He was talking mostly about TV at the time, where they talk about murder, famine, AIDS, death, war, like that sort of thing. And then he looks outside the window, there's nothing.
Yeah.
And it's like, now picture that's the TV still doing that, but now you have a device on you all the time that will keep you informed.
Yeah.
Like it will ring to tell you, like, hey, this is what's going on. So that's I don't want to get too much of a tangent there, because there is something else that grinded my gears. I
have to grind my gears too. So we may be grinding gears for a little bit, but it's cool. It's cool.
Yes. So this is I don't follow a lot about the NFL, folks, but
sports ball.
This is by far bonkers. Like we've talked about here about football players who are paid millions of dollars on here, but they have on their contract, just don't smoke pot.
Just don't do it. Just lay off, as Stephen A. Smith would say, lay off the weed.
Lay off the weed. I'm glad that you mentioned your hero, Stephen A. Smith. He's a good. Yes. Anyway, let's move on from that.
Please.
So here's another thing. Arizona Cardinals head coach Cliff Kingsbury, whatever his name, he is instituting a plan to keep his players' attention. Cell phone breaks.
Okay, that's fine. I don't see a problem.
20 minutes at a time. Give them a break and get them back in. Okay. So I am going to sound like an old man here for a second, but I would shove $1 million down these players' throats and go, you can stay off your freaking phone for $1 million. Man. I would do it for $50 a day. If they told me that, hey, we'll give you, if someone came up to me going, hey, I'll give you $50 a day if you can stay off your phone. This is say, stay off your phone for a particular amount of time for their practice or for their meetings. $50 for it, so it's not an entire day either. And I would go
in this,
yeah.
In this culture, it's impossible.
I don't know because
impossible. How often do you see a human without a phone?
But is it because are they at work though, or are they?
Yeah,
yeah, that's true.
People surf their phones at work. People surf their phones in church. People surf their phones in the toilet. People surf their phones when they're walking to go surf their other phone.
But the vast majority of those people aren't being paid millions of dollars to throw a ball around.
It's all relative. Like people at work will check their phone in a meeting. In a meeting where you're supposed to be attentive and paying attention to the business.
I don't know if it's relative too much though, because it's like these folks, they aren't the only ones. If you want to get into the darker side of the NFL, they aren't the only ones depending on this $1 million. Like it's been like reported or like talked about how when it was payday in the NFL, people's family members would be waiting in the parking lots. Sort of thing to get money. So it's not just like them waiting and they still, I don't know. Hey, if it was that,
it's an addiction,
to them. Yeah. If they want to do that, more power to them. But I thought that NFL is supposed to be about discipline and about getting a team spirit. Yeah. But
discipline in the NFL. These are the same guys who are injecting like moose urine into their veins to get like some kind of like some kind of bulk up, and
so they can do that, but they can't put down their phone.
They can't put down weed either, man. They can't put down performance enhancing drugs. It's human nature. People gonna want what they want.
This is a good time to shout out the podcast Dumb People Town.
Yeah, give them a shout out, man.
Check out the Sklar Brothers, Dumb People Town. All right, let's. I can't talk about that anymore because it's gonna anger up the blood, and I have to prepare. I have to save that for when I record tomorrow. But
anchor up the blood, man.
Yeah,
got my blood boiling. All right, Real quick, I have a grind my gears article that I want to talk about. But what did I do? I just played more Legend of Zelda. I still suck at Rocket League, so I'm practicing that.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to watch Enter the Spider-Verse, which is good, and I was able to watch Aquaman, which is okay. And that's pretty much what I did with my week. But my grind my gears is based off a video game article that was released in regards to the new video game from Software, Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. Have you seen this, Winner?
No.
Where the guy did a review on the game. I don't want to say it's a Kotaku review. I'll link the actual article in the show notes. But he was pretty much saying that Sekiro, which is a notoriously difficult game, it's a From Software game. These are the people who made Dark Souls and Bloodborne, and they don't make easy games. That's the whole point. He was saying that because there's not an easy mode, that From Software is showing a level of disrespect to gamers by not giving them the option to play the game on an easier level for those who can't perform at the level that the game demands to progress in the game. And at first, I was just kind of like, that sounds like part of me wants to be like, that sounds like a whole lot of get good. You know what I mean? But that's too toxic. I don't like feeling that way. But then it became a whole Twitter argument about, well, what if you have disabilities? You can't play this game. It becomes it becomes kind of a way of gatekeeping your game from gamers who can't maybe perform at the level that you're requesting for this game. And that's where I got triggered, because a lot of people were saying From Software is disrespecting those with disabilities because their game's difficulty is too high for those people with disabilities who can't function enough to play the game. And I feel a certain way about that. And that's where the argument went, because people will start to backtrack or backpedal when they're losing an argument to deflect it to something else.
Right.
So it's like someone says From Software needs to put easy mode in their games, and I say no, they don't. That's the whole point. Don't buy the game if that's not what you're into. You know what I mean? That's the whole point of the game, is to be difficult and rewarding once you've mastered the game. And then they start backpedaling. Well, what if I only had one arm? I couldn't play. I was like, well, first off, there's gonna be a lot of games that you're not gonna be able to play in that sense, in that regard. But even people with one arm, people with disabilities, have mastered video games. That's not like difficulty and accessibility are two different things. You know what I mean? Like, can you make the character go forward? Can you push the buttons on however configuration the game is set to? Yes. Then learn the game. That's where difficulty comes in. You can't tell me there aren't ways for people who are, who have some kind of ailment are disadvantaged. They've learned to overcome that to do what they want to do. I saw a YouTube video the other day with a kid who had cerebral palsy deadlifting like 300 pounds because that's what he aspired to do. So he trained and he learned how to do it his way, and like that article just triggered me so hard because I'm like, you totally don't get the whole point of this stuff. Like, as a game journalist, you don't get the point of playing games.
I'm becoming convinced that there are, well, it's not that much of a surprise really, that there are video game journalists who they themselves only have a basic knowledge of video games.
The most basic knowledge, like the most basic grip on what it is to play a game and enjoy it I hate the term gamer. I think gamer is a toxic term. Mm-hmm. As someone who enjoys video games. And
it's only going to get worse. Because the more money that you have coming in from like Fortnite, esports, stuff like that, you're going to then have esports reporters come in and go, is there enough zoop-a-zops and the zeep-zops?
Yeah.
That's
what's going on.
Yeah. Is there more X and Y than Z's and B's? That's what it's like.
It's like, don't talk to me about difficulty where you have a guy like Brawly Legs, who's one of the best Chun-Li fighting game players of all time, in the guy has like a disability where he's literally playing the game with his tongue
Right.
in his thumb, and he's beasting on Cats Online with lag. You know what I mean? Like, this guy is amazing, but he did not let that stop him from doing what he wanted to do.
Right.
So there is a separation in accessibility and difficulty.
Just buy an Xbox adaptive controller and let's move.
And there you go. That's a whole other avenue that Microsoft brilliantly is like, hey, this is an adaptive controller. You can adapt it to however you want. We want you to enjoy our games. Like anyone, like Cuphead, you should be able to play Cuphead at its hardest difficulty, no matter what the situation is, if you really want to play it that way. And you're asking game developers to build their games around every single contingency when they want to make a niche game. I don't know. Like, am I being ignorant to this? Because I don't want to spark anything, but I'm just saying, like, I think that is a part of a bullshit excuse for being mad that you, Mr. I have a day or two to write a review and I can't because the game's too hard.
Right.
So I'm going to complain about it. Journalist.
Yeah.
Who's not understanding the full spirit of the game.
And there's the whole thing of, I'm reading all these other articles about how hard the game is, but maybe I need to be different. And
I'm going to be edgy.
Yeah.
I'm going to call out the game developer that I'm writing this article for.
There's not enough fleebs in my flops.
Stop being a coward and make the game easy. Right? Like, get out of here, man. Like, there's games I'm not going to be good at. Like, I'm not good at the From Software games. I suck at them.
Right.
I got stuck on Demon Souls and just tapped out, but I appreciate them. I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm salty. I can't play these games because
just imagine. Just imagine the type of person who's. I don't want. I'm becoming. This is agitating me as well. Like, just imagine the person writing those type of articles. Like,
yeah, right. Imagine a kind of self-entitled vitriol in pompous, just attitude. Well, if the game doesn't feel comfortable for me personally, then it must be a bad game.
Yeah, he sounds like he doesn't like coconut either. So let's just.
Wow, you know what? We're going to the news.
Okay.
I don't like all this coconut controversy that you're trying to upstir on this episode of the podcast, sir. We've already took it to the
news and shove it down your throat. It's time for MOTN news.
News. We've already taken the coconut debate to the people, and you saw the results. So I don't know why you must talk of these things.
The people. This is why democracy never works.
Wow. Okay. I see what's in your Barnes and Noble. What literature?
Yes, a bunch of Glenn Beck, a bunch of Mark Levin, a bunch of Michael Savage, and now I've been flagged.
And now the podcast is dead.
And it's gone.
And cut. Good. We had a good run, man. Yes. Beautiful. Oh man, let's get into this news, my man. Now that we're vented, we're feeling better.
Yes.
Got things off our chest. Namaste. Jai Guru.
Serenity now.
Nothing's gonna change my world.
George likes spicy chicken.
George likes his chicken spicy.
Spicy. There you go.
Yeah, man.
These pretzels are making me
thirsty. Get out of my brain, dude. These pretzels are making me thirsty.
Serenity now.
Speaking of fans who are going to need serenity, the Child's Play remake. Firefly's coming back. No, April 1st has already passed, unfortunately, so we can't have our meme-filled episode. But have you heard about this Child's Play remake that's coming out?
Yes.
And are you familiar with the history of Child's Play?
I've never watched any of the Child's Play movie. I think I watched maybe I watched the one where they're trying to have a baby and there's something about a turkey baster in the.
Are you talking about that one movie with the blind guy and
Seed of Chucky, I believe.
Oh, Seed of Chucky? Okay.
Yeah. That's the only one I've seen, and I was like, I don't need to see anything else.
I'm gonna give you the Child's Play pro tip. Child's Play 1, Child's Play 2. That's it. You don't need to watch 3. You don't need to watch any of the new age 90s ones. Get them all out of there. Just Child's Play 1 and 2. That's all you need. Because Chucky in the military school is the weakest. Fight me. Child's Play 3 is garbage.
That's when he pretty much becomes an earnest character.
Yeah,
Chucky
right.
goes to day camp.
Chucky in space, like fight me. Like I don't care.
What if Chucky in the trash can?
Charles Lee Ray is the stapler. You know, I don't care. That's the one hill I will die on. But apparently, Mark Hamill is going to be doing the voice of Chucky.
I did hear that. I did hear about that.
And we were talking about this during our D&D session, and they were like, "Hey, Mike, how do you feel about it?" And my gut sentiment was, "I'll allow it."
Right. Calling on the field stands.
Calling on the field stands, holding on the offense, man. I'll allow it because Mark Hamill, in my eyes, can do no wrong, and he has that Cagney and Lacey kind of that not Cagney and Lacey. He has that like that cool grip to his voice. As long as it doesn't sound too much like the Joker, I'm down, dude. I don't care. He'll figure it out. It's Mark Hamill, man.
Yeah,
he's an accomplished voice actor at this point, so he can do whatever he wants, man. It actually gives the movie some clout in my eyes. It adds more weight to it.
Yeah, what would happen though? This is the end. So he's probably going to be out of Star Wars by the end of the year.
Probably,
his storyline's going to be over.
Yep.
So now he needs to find another franchise to connect himself with.
Yeah. Wow, I would hope
and
not.
Indiana Jones won't happen. So
I would be super down with the Indiana Jones reboot, dude.
Yeah,
I'll be super down and get like Chris Pratt to be Indiana Jones, dude.
Yes. Watch out! Short Round's got a new alpha.
Short Round does have a new alpha.
Yeah.
Oh man. So I have no segue for that joke, and I have no segue for this article. So I'm just gonna squeal like a child that Borderlands 3 finally got its trailer, and it looks amazing.
Yes. By the way, I watched a little bit of the live video before the reveal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
god!
What's the company again for Borderlands 3? Gearbox,
bro.
Yeah. What are they doing over there?
I don't know, man. Mad scientists.
So I watched my buddy sent me a link to it, and it was like I thought he sent me like a joke link because it's a guy on stage doing magic tricks.
They don't know.
And I go, nope, this is the real deal. They're doing magic tricks for a Borderlands show because
do it.
Everyone in that room wanted to see, no one in that room wanted to see magic tricks. They wanted to see video games. And B, magic tricks is one of the lowest of the forms of entertainment.
One of my favorite jokes is from Andrew Dice Clay, is a really old comedian. He's like, I fucking hate magicians. Everybody's like, why?
Gotta use his voice.
I hate fucking magicians. Oh, pull 3 rings apart. Yay. It's like they're so lame and so pretentious.
3 rings apart. Oh, get out of here. Hickory dickory dock.
We're not going to finish because that joke. This podcast is one curse word away from being explicit. So,
Wheels.
Reminds me of that one movie, Twins.
Yes,
stupid.
Yes, and the reason why he's here is your fault. He is
okay. Andrew Dice Clay has a throne in the Nerdiverse somewhere. It's fine. He's an honorary member. He's an honorary master. Wherever you are, Andrew, we're talking about you. Borderlands 3 has 1 billion guns, bro.
Hey, a star is born. I got a star for you. Hey! Maybe next time, Bradley Coops.
Bradley Coops. Big Coops. Oh, that's burnt out. Do you have anything to add of weight to Borderlands 3?
Buy the Hanson Collection on Steam. It's $15 for the entire Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 2.5 game, the pre-sequel.
And play the Telltale game too, Tales of the Borderlands. That's good shit. There's our curse word. We're explicit now.
No, you already cussed before, but whatever. I'm not counting or anything.
To get the rated R, you need like three. You need like 3 F-bombs, I think.
Oh.
So we got like one more F-bomb to go.
You should check that movie out. This film's not been rated. That's a good movie about the rating system.
Rating system. I gotta check that out. I'm fascinated by it. Speaking of movies, did you see that Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark trailer?
I sure have. It looks pretty cool, actually. I'm down to see it.
I'm down to see it too. This is the thing that Guillermo del Toro is kind of piggy banking. You know what I'm saying?
Hopefully, I'll be done with Boston Legal before then.
You're never going to be done with Boston Legal, bro. You're like me and Burn Notice. As soon as it's over, you're like, one more again. You just started from season 1.
No, it's so hard for me to rewatch TV shows like that. I've only done that twice with Sons of Anarchy and Shield.
Dude, like other than Burn Notice, the only other TV show I can just watch over and over and over is like Seinfeld. And it's that.
Oh yeah, Seinfeld. Okay, I lied. Seinfeld, Frasier, Everybody Loves Raymond,
Married with Children as well. I can just.
Oh, I haven't seen a single episode of that show.
Blasphemy. I know what we're doing when we hang out that one time. I'm just going to bring a bunch of Married with Children cassettes. We're just going to sit and watch that all night. Get drunk.
Yes, please bring cassettes. That will guarantee we'll never watch one.
We're going to figure it out. I'm going to bring my cassette player. Doug. We're going to plug it into your TV. It's going to be amazing.
Don't threaten me on the podcast.
Don't pull your knife out while I'm standing next to you. This is quick because I really don't have anything to say about it. Angelina Jolie is picked to play in Marvel's Eternals movie. I don't know a lot about Angelina Jolie. I don't know a lot about the Eternals as a comic book. I don't know what to say. It's news. It's on the docket.
Yeah. Angie Joel, Eternals movie. Oh, her children are eternally grateful. Oh, okay. I don't know.
Okay, this is my fault. Ladies and gentlemen, I've injected.
This is the knife dice clay.
I've injected Winter with the Andrew Dice Clay disease, and he has to work through his system.
Yeah.
Can you imagine weaponized Andrew Dice Clay? Like you put it like except for a hollow tip is an Andrew Dice Clay.
Hey, there once was a man from Nantucket, and he left.
Oh.
Oh.
Speaking of things that make me just want to leave. Sony announced
the Aristocats.
The Aristocats. That's the best joke of all time for those who know how to say it right. Have you ever heard Bob Saget's 15-minute Aristocrats joke? So amazing.
Get out of here. Yeah, I've seen it.
It's beautiful. Masterfully done. Man, we don't have that much news left and a whole lot of podcasts left. This is going to be a fun episode, dude. Fun stuff. So, Iron Man VR is a thing on PS4 VR.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit, dog.
Yes, they're still trying to make VR go like everyone's asking for VR. Everyone wants it.
This is a this kind of situation. I could vent for this for 10, 20 minutes, but I'm not going to. But
yeah,
VR has so much potential if you guys stop treating it like a damn toy and give it some air and respect. Like the same with 3D. Like Avatar did as much as it could at the time with 3D, and it made $1 billion, right? It really thought about it and was like, okay, how can we?
Was it the 3D you think that made it $1 billion?
It's all the 3D. Avatar as a story is garbage, dude.
Okay,
the Avatar film is garbage.
I wonder if you hear yourself sometimes, Mike.
Avatar movie without the 3D is hot garbage, dude. It's
wow.
Fern Gully, dude. It's just Fern Gully.
It's not even Fern Gully. You're closest.
The 3D makes it in the graphical innovations, Doug.
I sounded like Austin there for a minute.
You sounded like Dastrom for a second.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, 3D used right can be beautiful and amazing. Like if you've played Resident Evil 7 in VR, it's amazing. It's a completely different game. Because they're not using that some goofball, I'm flying kind of nonsense. It's a game.
And then Mike has been telling me about the other reviews from the Pornhub VR games. He said that they were really good.
You really get in there.
So
you get your elbow deep, dude. You get your elbow deep, right?
Stop. All right. I apologize for bringing that up. I fell into that one.
You've done this.
Yeah.
You've done.
Quick, Dice Clay, give me some strength.
Iron Man's like, repulsor ray. This whole gauntlet is in 3D in VR, and while he's deep, he goes repulsor ray.
Yes. Now I do have an issue where they could have made an Iron Man game that everyone could enjoy. Where
why would they do that?
Yeah, like an open world Iron Man game where you can be evil Iron Man or you can be good Iron.
Or like Infamous,
like Fable. Like Fable 3.
Oh, we have a game on the docket that's going to be kind of like that. But I will say this until they prove me wrong.
Mortal
Kombat 11. Disney is very cheap when it comes to their video games. They've always been cheap. Disney has never made good video games. For anything.
What are you talking about?
Get one good Disney video game. I'll wait.
Toy Story for the Super Nintendo.
The last good Disney game was Aladdin on the Genesis, and I'll fight you for that.
All right, well,
Epic Mickey, maybe. I don't count Kingdom Hearts because you know why? Okay. I didn't play Kingdom Hearts 3 because I was salty because Disney removed all the Square Enix characters.
Did not provoke
you did.
This.
This is apropos of nothing.
I did not.
This is apropos. Disney. Yes. I was super down to play Kingdom Hearts 3. You remember? I was hyped, dude. I was so hyped. But then I started seeing like, where's Cloud? Like, where's the Sephiroth Coliseum battle? They're not going to run into Noctis and the Final Fantasy 15 guys. There's like no Square Enix characters in Kingdom Hearts, where the whole point of the Kingdom Hearts is that it's supposed to be have Disney have Square Enix. Disney is the worst.
But here's Johnny Depp. Oh, hey there, matey. Playing the guitar. Johnny Depp. Remember me from 21 Jump Street?
Disney's the worst. And Marvel, and other than like, I don't even know how the Spider-Man PS4 game was made. I don't know how they did it. It's like they told Disney to go sit outside and let us do what we got to do. It's pretty much what happened. No interference. Tell us what we use. Leave the room. God, Disney's so bad at that. That's why Marvel's Capcom Infinite sucked, because they wouldn't let any X-Men in because they didn't want to market characters that weren't under their brand. Bastards. Anyway, that grinds my gears. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about that cool Fable game that Winter was talking about. It's called Darkborn. Did you see the trailer for this thing, dude? Or whatever they had running for it?
No, I haven't. I've read a little bit about it.
Cool. Though. Like you play like this weird, like forest nymph or something, like this little baby thing.
Yeah.
And your family's murdered by like rampaging Vikings. It's like some kind of fantasy world, and you grow up from being an imp to a grown ass super monster, and you can decide to be merciful or decide to be just complete beast mode. And it's like an RPG / like, I don't know if it's over the shoulder or third person, but it looks kind of interesting. Like you said, it reminds me of Fables, like the whole choice system, like the direction you want to take your character in is supposed to be very fluid, so I'm down. I like new creative IPs. In fact, I prefer those to most sequels and remakes nowadays, honestly. Like Biomutant. When's that coming out? Biomutant. That's just fun to say. But check out Darkborn. Should be coming out to a theater near you soon. This is strictly Michael news. Michael G. Don't want to dox myself. But there's a new Mortal Kombat character. Her name is Citrion. It's a new character. Mortal Kombat's coming out this month, guys. Get hyped. And the end of the news is about the new Sega Genesis Mini. That's not a piece of trash. Apparently, it looks good. 40 games. It's a mini. This trend will die.
Yeah. If only we had devices that we could play these games already.
No, you don't. Sega doesn't want to hear that, dude.
Of course. Sega, they make some good games, but then they do this. I don't know. I don't want to be too hard on them.
You know how Sony has bailed out of E3 this year, and like EA has bailed out on E3 this year. Would it be crazy if Sega just announced the console at E3? Just stole the spot.
Isn't Sega bought by some
Sega
other company?
It's owned by some weird, like super, like Asian company or something like that, like Tencent or something.
Right.
But they got money behind them. They can come out with a new console if they want.
Yeah, the only way they could make the only way I would be excited about it if like Sega was going to introduce like, hey, we're releasing a console that is meant for those people that have friends that come over, to where so no more needing internet to play multiplayer, but having like 4 ports, like trying to corner that market of people who still have friends that come over and play games. That's when I'll get interested.
Sega Genesis 2 has no online.
Well, it would be it's weird that they're calling Sega Genesis. It's calling it Sega Genesis 2 when Genesis means it's beginning or something like that.
Shut up. It's like the Lone Rangers.
They can't call it Sega Exodus 2.
They call it the Sega Exodus 3. And it has 12 controller ports, and it can play up to 12 people at the same time, and it has blazing 4K rendering, because all the energy that would have went to managing like servers and managing online capabilities just goes to graphics. It's all graphics, dude. It's like a miniature PC gaming rig with no internet. None of the games have updates or patches or anything. The game is the game.
Yeah.
And you buy it at a store.
And you know what? A thing that I just realized that they could have, like Nintendo didn't do this either. But why aren't they making people actually want to buy this more? Like the capability for people to have like cartridge slots, so that they can put in their old games on these devices.
I want to say marketing wise, it's a level of control. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like they don't want people playing pirated games and pirated, because once you open that door, you're gonna have that one guy who slips in a memory stick with over 500 games on it. You know what I mean? Just turn it into your pirate box. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess they're still living in a world where that's not already happening.
It's not happening to them. You can't tell Nintendo anything about emulators. It's bad words. That's like
it's like an old man that thinks that World War I is over and that World War II has never happened. You just don't want to break the news to him.
You don't want to tell him.
Just let the old man be in the corner.
Let him live the rest of his life with his head in the sand, man. That's his wish. Can we bless him with his wish?
No. Okay, so that's all I got.
That's all I got, man. What are you looking forward to, dude?
Let's see here. I might be going to a memorial service on Saturday, so I'm looking forward to that.
Sorry to hear that.
Well, the lady, I believe, was 92 or 96 or 98.
She lived her life.
Yeah.
Man.
It's not that sad of a thing. It's a memorial service. People are gonna be cracking jokes, I believe, and stuff. And
Andrew Dice Clay is gonna be there.
Oh, 92 years old. Okay.
Hickory Dock.
All right.
We're never gonna finish that joke because it's
Hickory Dickory Dock. We're sad to see her go. So, I feel bad after that one.
She was giving drinks to Methuselah. Yeah.
Moving on. So I'm looking forward to that a little bit. looking over the hockey season's winding down. Stanley Cup Finals is about to take place, so I'm excited to see what happens.
Heck.
Okay, and following baseball, following basketball, and trying to play. Oh, I'm playing hacky sack again. I'm trying to get back into that.
Winner got them hacky sack thighs.
Oh,
dog.
it's
good to go.
it's like kids are going, whoa! I couldn't believe you just did that, because they all think that I'm just a big guy that can't move, and then I just do these crazy hacky sack things.
Trick. That's what's up, man. Trick
Yep.
them. They're not ready.
Yep.
They're not ready for your next level hacky sack skills, dude. Teach them the tricks, man. You like Pele out there. It's like I was watching this video of Mike Tyson doing like punch katas, and it's the scariest thing in the world, because you think like, oh, Mike Tyson's like 55, 60.
Now, is that related to gun kata?
Gun kata is okay. We have time to kill, so we're just going to talk about gun kata for a second.
No, there's
Have you
a
ever-
hockey game on right now, so sorry, I did not mean to bring up gun kata. I didn't realize you had a 15-minute audio essay ready to go.
Ready to go. We're talking about Equilibrium, first of all.
Yes.
Equilibrium starred Sean Bean and Christian Bale before Batman, dog, and Taye Diggs, where it was illegal to feel in their
Sounds like my last marriage.
martial
Okay, go on.
in their form of martial art in the future was gun kata, where you have to where pretty much think of Dante in Devil May Cry 2, where his arms are moving around but he's standing still, just shooting behind his head, around his back. And
Just look it up.
what you know about gun?
There's actually a guy who's practicing gun kata on YouTube. He does like a martial arts exhibit on gun kata.
I gotta find him, dude.
Yes,
I gotta
and
find.
of course it's a Midwestern skinny white boy in a Matrix trench coat and glasses.
You know what? With guys like that, you don't even like bother him. Just let him do what he wants to do. Man.
I'd be scared to bother him, to be honest with you.
No, man, you don't want to unleash him to the world, dude. Those kind of cats. You do that kid that took Naruto way too seriously when you were growing up. He was trying to.
Yeah, I think I do a podcast with one.
Oh, shut up! You don't know how that statement was. You kind of low key under triggered me, dude. Like I had a flashback
I'm sorry.
of me trying to power. What I did used to do though, when I was a kid, I used to watch the kung fu movies with my friends, like Enter the 36 Chambers and Man with the Golden Arm and Born Invincible and Fearless Hyena and the Five Deadly Venoms and Spiritual Kung Fu and the 12 Po Monks and all those super cool 70s Shaw Brothers kung fu movies with Gordon Liu and with Jackie Chan, old Jackie Chan before Rumble in the Bronx Jackie Chan. Good Jackie Chan is good Jackie Chan. And they would have these training sequences where the Shaolin monks would do all these crazy things, like put blades on their arms and carry water. So if your arms dip a certain lower weight, you cut your ribs with blades. So you have to keep your arms up to gain strength. We used to, as kids, we would try to do that in our backyard and get caught every single time, taking like kitchen butter knives and strapping them to our forearms and walking around carrying buckets full of water. We were big nerds and doing snake style on our little sisters and cousins. Yeah, good times. You ever do back of somebody's head? They don't know what's gonna happen. You just standing and you just go. And you hit them with the little snake style.
What do you plan on doing with your?
You just not gonna acknowledge my snake style. Dog?
Nope. I'm just gonna let you, let the audience decide.
You know what? The audience is with me. they know Snake. They know Snake and Eagle Shadow. Oh man. You know what? If you're within the sound of my voice, the night you listen to this podcast, watch an old kung fu movie, man.
Instead of doing that, check out Trash Monk the Third on social media at Trash Monk III. I post a lot of fun stuff there.
I'm not going to besmirch my brother in arms here, Trash Monk III, but that was a low blow. That was a kidney blow. Kidney blow. But yeah, also if you like more of my weirdness, you can also follow us on Twitter, which is at Masters of the Nerdiverse. That's at mnerdiverse on Twitter, where my goofiness knows no bounds. And we talk about cool stuff like comics and video games and horror movies and whatever nerd things you like. Chances are we have an opinion on it. So you can always like our content. May it be listening to it on YouTube or on Apple Podcasts. Please leave us a review. I'm not going to stop talking about it. Please leave us a review. And please tweet at Old Spice and ask them to give us a sponsorship.
Have you been hearing that?
Yes. It's picking up. And
Shout out to Blue Yeti mics.
Blue Yeti mics. They'll pick up stuff you don't want heard.
Yeah, that's coming out of earbuds across the room.
Strong power, fearsome energy. But yeah, leave us a review on iTunes, please, if you're listening to it via iTunes. If you're on Spotify, more power to you. Add us to your favorites. Do us a favor. You will not regret it with all the blazing content that's going to be coming from the Masters of the Nerdiverse podcast. On that note, I've been your host, Mike G.
And I've been your host, Trash Monk III.
And we will always ask you to take that one step beyond. Yeah.